And we're back here. And you guys missed it. Old man Dale doing his calisthenics during the break there as well. Of course, on Tuesdays, Bruce Cooper joins us. Local legend, 34 years at Channel 12 there as well. Those of you who've been around a long time, and everybody knows Coop, of course, as well here. And Sandra Bullock take. Sandra Bullock, yes or no?
I love Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, I mean,
what's her best movie?
Well, I can't remember the name of it, but she was going to be deported. So she married one of her executives.
Yes.
You know, and they were supposed to get
was that
divorced.
a movie or is that a real life thing?
No.
Well, they wound up getting married for
Yes.
I mean,
gosh, I just saw that it was on whatever Lifetime. I was going through the channel, guys.
Yeah, I don't know the name of these movies, but I remember that.
I've never even heard of that movie.
Well, that's a really good movie.
It is.
She's a boss, and she's not nice.
Oh, the romantic comedy one?
Yeah, rom-com.
And it has the dude that played Deadpool in it, Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was
what's
awful.
the name of it?
She doesn't play a mean person. If she came up to me and acted that way, I would just be like, "Settle your roll down, lady. You're not intimidating."
Hey, look, I've become a chick flick dad
the
because
proposal.
my I've watched so many.
Yes,
the proposal.
the proposal.
I've watched so many chick flicks with my daughter. It's not even funny. It's what.
Yeah, there's so many better ones than
No.
That was a good one.
No. That's a
Miss
that's a good
Congeniality. You're probably a Miss Congeniality.
I like Miss Congeniality a little bit too.
That was awful.
I mean, heck, she won a beauty contest.
Again, only in Hollywood. Only in Hollywood.
Coop, do you realize how stinking lucky you are?
Oh,
What do you mean?
Do you realize how lucky you are this weekend?
I don't.
Do you realize?
I don't.
Your Sun Devils should have lost to West Virginia. They should have. And look at my Wildcats. Go up to Cincinnati, dark 30, and put a whooping on the Bobcats.
Well, look, I wouldn't call it a whooping, but they came away with an impressive win. And sure enough, I thought about you.
Yeah.
I thought about you during that game. And, I mean, look, Arizona State, I thought, had a comfortable lead. I mean, I'm still upset at 3rd and 27. I mean, are you kidding me? 3rd and 27.
90-yard touchdown.
A screen pass.
Yeah.
3rd and 27 becomes a 90-yard touchdown pass.
It started before that, though. They went soft on the drive before that and let them just drive down the field and do all that to get back in the game. There's something up with this defense. Is they don't call games right at the end.
They don't, because I mean, it's still a crawl in my stomach about the Mississippi State game.
Oh yeah, well, if you can go back to Texas last year, they went cover zero.
Situation. 4th and 13.
Yeah, and going cover zero and getting over defender getting beat out there. Yeah. I said it in the stadium. I'm pretty sure I tweeted it out where I went, here comes the part of the game where our defense goes soft and lets them drive down the field easily and score and get right back into this thing and get the momentum on top of it. And it's sure what happened. I don't understand why they keep doing that. Now, the defensive coordinator after the Mississippi State game, who knows? We might do it again. We might make changes. We might do it again. No, they're still doing it.
But we could go anywhere you want. I was thinking about John Saturday.
Hey, look. I mean, Noah Fafita is playing like he did 2 years ago when he had some guy named Tetairoa McMillan that he was throwing the ball to. But look, I mean, he threw the game-winning touchdown to Gio Richardson, the true freshman from Bassett. I'm like, oh man, U of A is really doing a good job of developing their young receivers.
Yeah,
I mean, they really are.
They've always, since I was coming out of high school, always had a hard time recruiting linemen. They've always been weak, especially offensive line-wise. Defensively, every once in a while they'll pop up with the Desert Swarm or
that Desert Swarm was
whatever.
Pretty dang good.
But offensive line, they've always struggled. And this offensive line seems to be at least average.
Why is that? Is that just a recruiting thing, an emphasis thing, or just linemen are like, I'm not going to Arizona?
I guess that's it. Or they don't put a priority on it or whatever. But no, it's going to be fun because I'm hoping that it comes down to that territorial cup, Coop. I really do hope it.
For your guys' bad or what?
Yeah.
Well, it most likely will. I'll tell you what. Arizona's at home against Baylor.
Yeah.
Baylor's not a bad team.
No. They're not.
And ASU's up on the road against a bad
Going
Colorado
to be
team.
cold and
Yeah,
snowy.
It is
6
because
p.m.
I saw it's going to be a late game, and so I said, that's going to definitely.
Last time that ASU was up in the cold and nasty weather, what happened?
I think Utah beat them by 40 or something.
Yeah, but Utah doesn't have Dion on the sideline.
Ah.
I think Dion's almost done there as well. I think it kind of shows. They played better the last couple of weeks. Colorado. Last week they played better. But before that, I mean, they were just god awful.
They got a lot of exposure, made a lot of money from Dion. Now it's time to cut ties and go try to win some games.
Yeah.
Get somebody else. That's the problem. Colorado does not have the money. If you don't know that, I mean, they didn't even know how they're going to pay Dion when they hired
didn't,
him.
but then they do.
They do now. But yeah, but they're spending that on other stuff. You know that as well as I do. Not on their football program, but yeah. So both teams are Arizona and Arizona State.
I'm curious, since you don't like Sandra Bullock, who is your favorite actress?
Oh, to these days.
Yeah, you don't need to go back to.
Well, Sandra Bullock's going back 20 years. She doesn't do anything now.
Yeah, she does.
Last thing I saw her in the face work, the work that she's had on her face was just atrocious.
Well, there's some people.
I think that was Bullet Train was the last time I saw her on a movie screen, and that was like, oh dear God, what'd you do to your face?
You know, Troy dated her back in the 90s.
Did he?
I went on a few dates with her.
Angie Harmon,
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock.
Oh, Troy was a thing there for a little bit.
No, hold on. Cowboys quarterbacks are a thing. Tony Romo was doing that for a while. Tony Romo ain't
Oh, you can say Tony Romo's not a good-looking dude?
He's got.
Boy, Steve, for somebody who lives in a glass house, you can throw a lot of stones.
I've got a blank on what actresses I would even pay attention to today.
Yeah, I mean, who else is out there?
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah,
He's not a big
I'm
one
just
now.
curious because he's so critical of
Yes.
Sandra. I'm just curious.
I have a. I've never liked Sandra Bullock's acting ever in my life. I just never
And
liked her
then
acting.
you just said she's ugly.
I was kind of being funny on that. But
Oh, you were.
Hold on. But I'll say this: she's never done anything for me. Like I just don't. She's not. Yeah. No. It's just her acting. It's just. Yeah.
So Sydney Sweeney does something for you?
No, actually, she doesn't either. She's too young. Problem is, I'm at the age. You guys should know this. I'm at the age where I look at young girls and I'm just like, whatever. Like it doesn't even like because they're like young enough to be my daughters and granddaughters and stuff.
Dude, come on now.
Yeah.
We're talking women that like are 30 plus. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
We're not talking about this Epstein stuff.
No, and it's just between the three of us for crying out
Yeah,
loud.
nobody's watching. Nobody's watching.
Yeah, look. I like just based on a lot of the chick flicks I watched with my daughter. I like Katherine Heigl.
She was good back in the day.
Huh?
Yeah.
She had an attitude off screen, which
Okay.
cost her career.
I don't know anything about
but,
that. I just
yeah,
know
yeah.
that just based on a lot of the movie chick flicks I watched with my
Like
daughter.
all
I
the
like,
chick flicks. Back in the day, Meg Ryan, if you want to go that far back, like Meg Ryan. I can honestly say I could think of 1,000 guy actors that I would go see a movie of them, like without skipping a beat. Oh, that guy's in it? I'm going to go see it. Like the dude that's in Running Man right now. I just forgot his name. It was on Saturday Night Live the other night. I'll go see every movie he's in. He's fantastic. Well, I can't think of one female actress where I'm like, I got to go see that because she's in it. I can't think of one.
well, I tell you
How
what.
about the girl in Pretty Woman? I just lost
Sandra
her.
Bullock?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
No,
not
no.
Sandra Bullock. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like her.
Yeah.
I like her.
40 years ago, guys.
No,
No.
she still looks pretty.
Yeah, and you talking about guys? I mean, the Will Ferrell's a guy that I didn't know a whole lot about any actors or actresses, things like that. But I was in Tucson covering a Diamondback spring training,
Yeah.
and
That was when he was in the field.
Well,
He was playing or whatever.
Yeah, well, me and my photographer, we got done early one day. We decided to go watch a movie, and it was the movie where he's going streaking in. We're going streaking.
Yeah. Old school.
Yeah, old school. Let me tell you
Classic.
something. Let me tell you
Classic.
something, man. I was on the floor. I mean, literally on the floor in that theater.
I quote that movie
missed
more
half
than I care to admit right now.
Yeah, I missed half the movie because I spent so much time on the floor.
I quote that movie more than I
was
care
such
to
an idiot.
admit.
I didn't know his name going in,
Yeah.
but I damn sure knew his name.
Yeah,
coming
no,
out.
he's a guy that I'll go. Adam Sandler, which he's hit or miss. Like some of his movies
Yeah,
are.
a couple movies I like.
But he's hit or miss. But if Adam Sandler's coming out of the movie, I'll go see it. But I can't think of one female actress right now where I'm like, oh, she's in it. I gotta go see it. I can't think of one off the top of my head right now. Oh my God! It says
Well,
something
I
about me.
just pulled up top 50 greatest actors of all time, and I mean they go to the Katharine Hepburns and the Audrey Hepburns and Meryl Streep.
All the Hepburns.
We're not going there because that's way
But even
out of
like
our
Meryl
league.
Streep, she's considered. She's a great actress. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to see any of her movies. Very rarely do I want to see one of her artsy movies like that. That's just it's not something I want to do. I'm just saying, guys.
I'm just asking.
It's not like bad. It's not like bad
How
football.
about Jennifer Lawrence?
Yeah, she's all right. I've never seen The Hunger Games. Never went out of my way for that or anything. Yeah.
Emma Stone?
Yeah. No.
Went to Chaparral.
She did. Yeah. Up until what? She left like her sophomore year or something to go to Hollywood or whatever.
I don't know.
Only time I've seen Emma Stone movies is when she's been in other movies like Breaking Bad. Not Breaking Bad, but that bad movie, the comedy. When she's in something else that I'm seeing, then I'll see an Emma Stone movie. Otherwise, I don't go see her.
Margot
Margot
Robbie.
You know, Margot Robbie, I'll probably go see if she's in something because that means it's probably a good movie.
I'll tell you. I can't think of her name right now, but
I forgot about Margot Robbie.
Any movie that I saw that she was in, I went to go watch because I thought she was just so stunningly beautiful, and she played in a one of the movies. It's like I don't know, like she's dancing or whatever. I mean, she's very, very pretty. I mean, God, let me see if I can think of her name a little later.
Are you talking about Black Swan by chance?
No. It was like
That dancing movie?
No.
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson. I can't.
Now this girl, this one is she's probably in her maybe her 40s now because she's
Anne Hathaway.
No. Yeah. No.
Sandra Bullock.
No. I think I know who you're talking about. I'm trying to think of her name right now. She Yeah, no. I mean, we're flipping through it here, folks.
Charlize Theron.
When she
Jessica Alba.
Yeah, when
That's
she was
exactly
younger.
who she is.
When Charlize was younger, yes. As she's gotten older, it's just I don't know. Just her.
Yeah, that girl until she started dating Aaron Rodgers.
Jessica Alba's dating
No,
Aaron
what?
Rodgers?
No, not Jessica Alba.
Oh,
Well,
Was it-
Jessica
was it-
Alba's gal I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're thinking of the other person. I
She's
know
the
you're
one
thinking
that anytime I saw she was in a movie, I wanted to watch it because I just found her to be stunningly
Really?
beautiful.
All right,
learning
let's get
something about
let's get
these
to
guys
sports.
here. We're learning something about these old
Well,
guys
obviously,
here.
great minds, Coop, think alike, and then we got the oddball over here.
I'm more of the movie guy than you guys are.
I know.
I appreciate good acting and skills and that stuff. I don't care about the looks. You guys are the ones that care
I
about the
do.
looks. I
sure
care
do.
about the acting
The ability.
and that stuff. And you guys are just pigs, obviously. And that's what we're learning right now, Bruce.
Hey, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's called like it is.
Well, hey, how about this? How about we let Coop kind of say, we had a weekend, Coop, where we obviously we'll talk about all of them, but what would you like to start with? Would you like to start with ASU football? Would you like to start with ASU basketball? Would you like to start with the Phoenix Suns? 22-point lead against the Atlanta Hawks. Would you like to talk about your beloved Arizona Cardinals? What would you like to start with?
Arizona basketball. Don't leave that off.
Yeah,
They're
well,
playing
let's just start with the bad and work our way up. I mean,
Okay.
that would be the Arizona Cardinals.
See, he
I
yells at me about the negativity all the time. And he's going to let you.
Yeah, but
get
you
away
always
with that.
end on negativity. You see how Bruce did that? He said, let's start with the bad and work our way up.
Yeah,
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's crystal clear to me that the Cardinals' woes go well beyond the quarterback position.
Yeah.
I mean, for I guess the past month or so, it was Jacoby Brissett is so much better than Kyler Murray at the position.
Right.
Well, the last 2 weeks, we've seen the Cardinals fall behind early, and I mean often, and a lot of it, and you could stem from the two fumble returns off of Jacoby
Against
Brissett.
Seattle.
And then you had the two interceptions on Sunday with the 49ers. So they build themselves this deep hole. And then I had a friend who was telling me, well, yeah, he completed an NFL record 47 passes. I said, dude, they're down 35-10. I said a lot of his completions now going to be coming in garbage time.
Right.
We can't put a whole lot of stock in that. But what you got to look to is to win. I mean, look, Cardinals went through this stretch of 5 consecutive games where they lost by less than a touchdown.
Right.
I said that was infuriating to a lot of the Cardinal base. I mean, you because you don't know how to win. It's every week is something different. Now you find yourself saying, "Man, I guess I appreciate those one-score losses." You know, they've gone backwards. I mean, 17 penalties. And Dell, I thought about you when they did a replay of 2 offensive linemen. One was Paris Johnson, and the other was Kelvin Beachum. Yeah. The offensive linemen used their hands, and then they chopped down, and the defensive lineman fell down, and they called holding. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I said, not even Dell Hellestrae can put up with this.
No, so in that move, I've talked to the AIA officials, the head of officials. I said, understand something. That is perfect technique. It's you teach a kid, an NFL player, to do that. You set the dude's coming with both hands at you, leaning forward. You slap his hands down. His head goes straight into the dirt. That's perfect.
But they called holding twice.
Because what happens is the officials looking, all of a sudden he sees an unusual movement, and he assumes something happened, and he throws a flag. And I've lost my mind because I teach my kids to do that. The ones that are good enough to do that, and obviously these guys in the NFL are good enough to do it.
Maybe.
But that's egregious.
It was, because it cost the Cardinals 10 yards behind the sticks after they had already made a positive play.
Yes.
And I'm like, are you – you know, I'm like, if I'm Jonathan Gannon, I'm sending that to the league office. I mean, FedEx.
Right.
I'm not waiting any time. I mean, it's ridiculous. I was so burnt. But look, 17 – those 2 penalties aside, I mean, 17 penalties in a game – and I think it was like 130 yards.
Yeah, they had 11 for, I think it was 81 in the first half. Yeah, when I did my halftime stats, I pointed that out.
That comes back to coaching. I mean, if you have to, there has to be some accountability that takes place. I think I remember Gannon's first year in the league as a head coach, the Cardinals were one of the least penalized teams.
It's gotten worse.
And so they gave him a lot of credit for being, you know.
Because Cliff Kingsbury's offenses or teams were very penalized.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So Gannon was, you know, memorialized, if you will, for, you know, having the Cardinals amongst the lowest in the league in terms of penalty. Well, if we're going to give him plaudits for that, I mean, shouldn't we also denigrate him for what we're seeing right now in terms of penalties?
Especially because of how bad it's getting. By the way, Robert says, wow, tune in for Coop and a knitting circle breaks out. Wait till you hear our book reviews coming up here in just a little bit. Our book reviews coming up here shortly as well. But, well, that's the problem that I have with this coaching staff right now is coming into this season, this is a team we don't even recognize compared to the last couple of years of the Jonathan Gannon era. And what I can't figure out, and I think I have the answer with the way Dillingham admitted we took our foot off the pedal. We let the veterans of the team kind of run things. Now we have to get back involved as coaches. And they went more physical, and they started winning again. So something happened in the offseason where Jonathan Gannon and this regime went, wait, we're doing good. Well, we don't have to do what we've done the last couple of years. That's the only explanation on why they've regressed in so many areas this year.
Well, I don't think with the 17-game schedule, let alone playing in college, that you have to go physical every week because that's going to lead to some unexpected injuries anyway. You know, but look, these guys in the NFL, they're professional. They shouldn't have to be motivated or they shouldn't have to be prodded to get into their playbooks. And, you know, I don't know. It's clearly a lack of discipline. There's a lack of discipline that is taking place. And so, you know, is it that the Cardinal players have now looked and seen this as a losing cause, and now they're not as sharp mentally? So whatever it is, something is going on, something is amiss, and it points directly to the coaches.
Well, let's ask the offensive lineman that coached for a bunch of years. You don't forget how to have the proper protection. Like last year, this offensive line was better than decent, better than average.
Mm-hmm.
You don't forget all of a sudden how to pass block and where your head goes and how you pass block guys and stuff like that. Do you forget that? Or do you get lazy?
You don't forget, but I will tell you this, and again,
Clayton Adams.
The more I keep talking about it. Hey, by the way, did you see that Dallas offense last night?
Did you see him the week before?
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Dang.
No, you don't forget how to do it. But are you being held accountable
That's the question.
for your technique mistakes in games and in practice?
Practice is more important to me than games.
To me, what jumps out is little things that you guys aren't going to look at because it doesn't mean anything to the average fan. I'm talking about double team blocks, to where I was always taught in Dallas, I'm double teaming if I'm the center, I'm double teaming with the guard. We're double teaming the defensive tackle up to the linebacker. We are shoulder to shoulder. We're getting movement on the down guy. If we get movement and the linebacker comes over the top, the guard's going to come off. But what I see way too much is I see a guard giving the guy a hand. He gets up against his linebacker. Meanwhile, that nose tackle is standing right there in the running lane because they didn't stay together in a double team. It's a little thing.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. That starts in practice,
But if you allow it to go and you allow them to continue to do that without some yelling and screaming, that's how they're going to do it.
But Dale, in addition to the little things, what I'm seeing that's really blatant to me is assignment errors. You know, like you could have a guard or a tackle pulling from left to right. They'll run right by a linebacker. And the guy just comes straight through unabated. I'm like, dude, what the heck were you looking at? I don't get it.
So that's kind of what I was leading Dale to answer is, to me, it's because they're not paying attention to that stuff in practice. These linemen didn't all of a sudden decide, all of a sudden I can't block guys anymore. It starts in the practice, and then you get into the game. They know how to do it properly, but they've been practicing it this way, and they think it's going to work, and it's not working. And then how do you fix it after that? To me, that's coaching at that point.
Yeah,
And this team has a ton of talent, and the way that they're playing, you can't. People are blaming the players for the way they are right now, and I'm a firm believer in blaming players.
Well, sure, I think the players have some accountability.
This
that they
is
have
so
to take.
regression, though, that this is on the coaching staff or the GM with putting the wrong players together.
Well,
one of those two things.
Well, look, let's now look at Monty Austin Forts. He's had 3 years of draft picks. 23 total, I believe, is what I found. And guess how many Pro Bowlers of the 23?
Yeah, exactly.
0.
Right.
Not even close.
That is a problem. That is a problem. And
I'll take it a step further. They miscalculated. I've been saying this, and we'll end the hour here, and we'll come back and talk about this. Last year, who did they have in their front 7 of their defense? Kazir White, who would go sideline to sideline, hit guys hard, etc. Dennis Gardeck, lesser talent guy, but played with heart, right? You had all those guys on the defense. This year, they went and got some high-pressure guys, some rookie guys there. They don't know if it's going to fit in. Now, Walter Nolan is that guy. He's showing to be that guy. But it's like they took the heart out of this team, and now guys are just like, I made my money. I'm not saying they're consciously doing it, but that heart, the guy that's fighting to stay in the league, like a Dennis Gardeck, for instance, a Kazir White, those guys are gone on this team. And everybody's, I'm going to use the word complacent on this team this year of, hey, we made it. Let's just go out there and play, and it'll work for us. And it's not. And to me, that comes to the putting together the team.
I don't know if I'd use the word complacency because these guys that we're talking about, they could be cut and out of a job next year. So
Walter Nolan's not going to. Josh Sweat isn't going to. And I'm not necessarily putting it on them. Will Johnson's not going to.
But you mentioned the Kaiser White. I mean, and they go out and get a guy named Gaither Davis to slide in there. I mean, who is this guy?
Yeah.
I guess Mack Wilson was one of those guys, and I'm like, who the heck is he? But Mack Wilson certainly played himself into
till he got injured, and now he's on IR and stuff like that. So we'll come back here, second hour main event with Bruce Cooper. Coming up next, we'll keep it rolling with Cardinals, Suns, ASU, Arizona. these two can battle it out on this Arizona thing. Arizona fans are really high on their team, and I don't get it, but good for them. They're celebrating something down there.
You don't get it.
Come on back, guys. The main event. And we're back here, main event, second hour. Bruce Cooper, of course, 34-year, 12 News broadcaster. Knows everybody in the Valley. Everybody knows him. And
most people like him.
He's nice enough to grace me with his presence. You have two greatness here next to me, Bruce.
But you know, I'm a little upset that this commercial break wasn't long enough because I only got in one knit, one purl, two twice. You know, I wasn't able to really get fully acclimated.
We need to get these commercial breaks a little bigger.
How long do you guys want? How long do you want? The audience loves it, and you know how long do you guys want it? Yeah.
We
do have a couple more things going in.
I like to do some sit-ups, some push-ups.
If you do that, we're gonna have the cameras live on that during the break.
So I'm hearing you two talk during the break, and I'm just hearing the nonsensical stuff coming out of your mouth. And the reality of the situation is something's happened since the bye. They beat Dallas, but these last 2 weeks, they don't come out ready to play. And again, as professionals, that should be your responsibility as a player. But the difference that I've seen between ASU and we went into the season, I was comparing both coaching staffs to each other. I loved them both. Loved what Dillingham was doing at ASU, and I love what Gannon is doing with the Cardinals. I thought they were both building and all that. What does Dillingham do when they struggle early, they lose a game or two and have slow starts? He said, he literally came out and said, I called some of my buddies to ask for advice, guys that I know that have more experience than me. And we changed practice, we changed this, we did this. You ask Jonathan Gannon, any
fine.
changes? Are you happy with how things are going? Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good.
You know, he's 1,000% times 10 that his management is.
Yeah.
Everything that he needs.
He said that yesterday.
And he had to do that times 10.
Yeah. It's you know in.
But I just want to finish my thought.
Yep.
I'm telling you right now, this Cardinal football team is about this close. They have one more game like these last two, and they're shutting it down.
Here's
they will
the
shut
difference.
it down. I bet on teams that do that, by the way.
Here's the difference between these last two games compared to what you're talking about, losing last-second field goals. These two teams are two of the best teams, Seattle and the 49ers, in the football coming into these games.
No, I can't go there because the 49ers had a walk-off field goal, and at that time, most of their stars were not injured. They played with pretty much a complete 49ers roster. This is a depleted 49ers
Seattle,
roster.
same thing, though. Seattle, same thing. Cardinals here Thursday night, barely lost to them. Last-second field goal to win it. But they're different teams today than they were when they played a month or so ago. They've gotten better throughout. But I said this yesterday. My comparison on the Cardinals is this, and this is where I'm most upset about the Cardinals right now and the coaching staff. Two teams played on Sunday. Who did the Cardinals play?
49ers.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. Who was out for the 49ers for the last 7 weeks?
Well,
their quarterback. Who's been out all season? Purcell was out for a month or more. They're still without Ayuk. They don't have two of their major defensive players
Warner,
and that stuff.
Yeah.
They have
They're
gone
too
through
bad.
absolute injury depletions.
And they continue to win.
And they have 7 wins now.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the Cardinals
yeah.
went through the same thing, and they have 3.
Right. And so that's why I cannot give the Cardinals any excuses relative to the injuries.
Yeah,
but I'm
that's
telling
how I feel.
but I'm telling you, there's and I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm almost with you, but I'm not because
That's the story of my life, Bruce.
well. Here's the deal. And I said it earlier. The 49ers, when the Cardinals played them the first time around, they had pretty much a complete healthy roster.
But they lost
And it doesn't matter. But
Bosa in the middle of the game.
Right. But here's the deal. They Cardinals lost in a walk-off fashion. This one wasn't even close. I mean, the opening kickoff, to Dale's point,
16
98
seconds.
yards to the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
And then it just snowballs from there. And we saw in the Seattle game the week before, they take the opening kick, go all the way down, touchdown. Cardinals get the ball, trying to respond, strip sack, fumble, touchdown, and you're already behind 14-0. So I'm just telling you, there is even though the Cardinals are playing the same teams, the teams that they're playing the second time around aren't nearly as good as the rosters that they faced the first time around, save maybe Seattle. I think Seattle has gotten better as the season has progressed.
I think the Niners have gotten better this season, and now they're getting everybody back.
You can't get better.
And now they're getting everybody back. They got everybody back on Sunday.
No, they're still missing their two best guys.
But they got Purcell back. Purdy was back.
Those are the only two. Look, Mac, you can make the argument, and I know people have. The 49ers haven't missed Brock Purdy because Mac Jones has played. Mac Jones won 6 games for them.
Okay, but then you can even go to the next step now, right? You can go to the next step. How did the Niners handle their quarterback controversy where Mac Jones is winning, right? And they were literally, Mac Jones is our guy, but Purdy's coming back. And everything, and then Mac Jones stumbled a little bit. Okay, Purdy's back. Let's go. And then the Cardinals have to hem and haw, and he's our guy, even though it was obvious who to stay with. It's just, if you look at the two parallels of the team, one team's handling it properly, you could say, and they're continuing to win. One team's struggling to win, and just every week you're discontented with what the coaches are saying.
Again, that goes back to the organization. That goes back to the coaching, and I don't think there's any mystery as to who has the two better in that regard.
Well, here's the other thing. I don't have the video on this, but Jacoby Brissett, I looked it up again to make sure I had it right. He said he doesn't understand how the Cardinals are not executing the details of each play. And he said that Sunday after the game.
Well, here's the thing.
Well, he's part of the problem.
But here's the thing. And it's always fascinating because, again, when you watch a game, most times you just watch a game. Every once in a while, I start watching it like a coach or a player, like I'm watching film. Thing is, on offense, at least 10 of the 11 guys have to do their job for the play to be successful. Sometimes if it's a run play to the right, the wide receiver left doesn't have to do diddly squat. On defense, 10 guys could not do their job, and one guy can make up for it. And that's what you see with this Arizona Cardinals offense. It starts up front. And it hasn't had enough attention paid to it. They're talking about it a little bit. But this offensive line is playing at about 60% of what they were last year. So if that's happening, then everything else is going to take a hit. Then you take away your running game, your big bopper early in the season.
James Conner. Well, he wasn't even running the ball then.
He wasn't because the offensive line wasn't playing well. And so it just permeates through the entire offense. And then guys just start playing hero ball. And mark my words, if they get blown out again, and Jacksonville's playing pretty good right now. They had a really nice win last week.
I didn't see that coming at all.
No, but they're playing. I mean, if they have another no doubter, whatever that score would be to you, this team is going to go downhill quickly.
I agree, and that's where the coach. I think that's where a change will come. Jonathan Gannon did his typical stuff Sunday after the game. He did his typical stuff yesterday, but yesterday he was asked about being on the hot seat. Let's listen to Jonathan Gannon talk about how it feels there to sit on that hot seat.
Yeah, not a controllable for me. I didn't hire myself. I'm not going to fire myself. So, seriously, no, I know it comes up. That's the business we're in. If you don't want to be in that business, we laugh, we joke, go work somewhere else. I'm going to control the controllables for myself. I come to work and do the best job that I can and try to get our team in position to win a game.
The problem is he's coming to work doing the best he can, and it's far from good enough.
Hey, thank you for that. So thank you for saying that, first of all. Second of all, that body language he had right there, he was smiling yesterday. He thinks he's cracking a joke, but nobody thinks it's funny because he's that personality. That's a man that knows he's safe right there. That's a man that knows he's safe at his job right now with that body language he had yesterday in the whole press conference. It was that body language. We haven't seen it in the last several weeks. That's a man that's been told he's safe as of now as a head coach.
Let me ask you this then, Dr. Sherlock. Why would Michael Bidwill let him know that he's safe? What's happened to give him that safety net?
I don't know. That's what we got to get to. Why would he be safe at this moment? Forget about the whole season and just look at these last two games. Just look at your division. You're nowhere close to being competitive in your division. As an owner, you go to meetings and you got to look at your Niners owner and the Seattle owner. Seattle owners don't even want that team. Paul Allen died and his sister's like, we don't want this stuff. We got to get rid of this crap. So they're selling Portland now. They're going to sell the Seahawks. They don't even want that team, and look at them win up there. And Michael Bidwill sitting here going, we're finishing last place again this year. That alone should tell you in the fashion that you're losing. I don't know. Well, except for the fact that, Michael Bidwill wants to give him another chance. But then you look around the league. You got a new coach over there in Carolina, and look what they're doing. That team was depleted and garbage. They added T-Mac, right? And now they have 6 wins on the season. You could turn around and do a rebuild like that in the NFL, except if you're an Arizona Cardinal. Why is he safe? I don't know. I can't answer that, Bruce. It baffles my mind as well. I put him on my hot seat this week of my list of coaches. I think he'll keep his job if he makes offense or coordinator changes. You cannot come back with Pensing and this offensive side of things. You just can't go into this season. And if he makes that change, I believe he sticks. And if he doesn't, I think you need to have conversations about finding a new coach.
Well, let's look at the division opponents then. And let's find out what's making those teams successful. I look at Seattle. You can even go back to the Legion of Boom days, even though you had an elite quarterback in Russell Wilson. Today, their defense is regarded as one of the best in the National Football League. That's why they can win with a Geno Smith. Let him go, bring in a Sam Darnold, and they can continue to win. Their defense keeps them in games. And so as you watch the Cardinals' first 5 games of the season, their defense is keeping them in the games. Now, let's look at the Los Angeles Rams. What has made the Rams successful to the point to where they were the only team that came within a whisker of beating the Eagles? It's their defense. I mean, and their general manager has gone out and drafted some Pro Bowl talent there. Yes. I mean, Jared Verse, Fisk. Yeah. I mean, and you look in their secondary. I mean, those two teams have that in common defense. The 49ers. I mean, despite their rash of injuries, they somehow managed to stay competitive. It's the defense. Because here's the crazy thing. If you look at their offense over their 7 games that they've won this year, they're averaging 22 points a game. Heck, the Cardinals average 21. Mm-hmm. And so so I should let you know that it's the defense. So many people just go back and they just look at the quarterback. Oh, it's Kyler Murray. It's Kyler. Look, I've told you guys it's no secret. I'm a guy who loves to have a mobile quarterback, a quarterback who is a dual threat guy who can and so I'm averse to a guy like Jacoby Brissett who can't really help us. So when you play teams like the Rams, you play teams like the 49ers, you play teams like the Seahawks who flush you out of the pocket. Well, we saw Jacoby trying to run. He tried to throw and run. It's an interception.
Yeah. Receivers didn't run the right route on that play.
Well, look, you can say this, that, and the other, but I'm just telling you that it's those mobile quarterbacks that you have to have. Mm-hmm. But in addition to that, In our division, in the Cardinals NFC West division, each one of those teams I talked about, they are staunch defensively. That's where the Cardinals are lacking.
Well, and you jump out. Number one thing you look at most times is quarterback. Matt Stafford's not mobile.
No, but their defense. They got a defense, right?
They have a deep. But so you look at Matt Stafford. Number one, there's questions whether he's going to play this year. Bad back, 38 years old. Blah, blah, blah. Look at his coach. I mean, if he's not the best coach in the league, he's in the conversation for the best.
McVay's all there.
Yes. You look at San Francisco. Shanahan doesn't seem to matter who the quarterback is.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. He's lost his two best defensive players. Well, who do they have as their defensive coordinator? Robert Salah, who's a hell of a defensive coordinator, maybe not a head coach material. All right, and then you look up at this Mike McDonald up in Seattle.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, whoa. And their quarterback, obviously, there's going to be some question marks now because he failed on Sunday against the Rams in another big game. Yeah. So can he win the big game? We'll see. But then you look at the Cardinals coaching staff. And I see little Drew Petzing with his little 3x5 note card with his.
It's the experience.
With his 6 plays and whatever. He keeps turning that thing over. No, they're not.
He looks at it intensely. Every time they mention him, every time they looked at him, a camera went to him on the sideline. He was sitting there staring at it, man.
Are there plays on the other side of this thing?
Well, I'm going to ask our resident genius here because he's always researching and surfing.
You see what I'm looking at right now, and you see the point I'm about to make. Okay.
If the Cardinals were to make a move at the head coaching position, I mean, let me ask you this first off: would you even have any interest in Bill Belichick?
No.
Okay. What would you look? What type of coach?
Well, see, no. So this is the argument everybody always says. Well, who would you get better? One thing I know for sure: bad organizations always hire the wrong coaches. Mm-hmm. Period. They always do. Think about this. Now, okay, I'm going to be clear on this. I'm walking up to the line of saying Jonathan Gannon needs to go. And that's just because I don't like his demeanor. I think it's terrible. Every time the camera cut to him on Sunday, I did not go to the game. I watched it on television. Every time the camera cut to him, I watched the Seahawks-Rams game. Every time they went to the side, the camera had to search for their head coach because he's talking to the official. He's talking to his quarterback. He's talking to the defensive guy. He's talking to the coordinator. What's Jonathan Gannon doing?
I mean,
I watched so much. Mike McDonald. He was about to get fired in Miami, possibly.
Mike McDaniel.
McDaniel. He's running out on the field yelling at the officials. What's Jonathan Gannon doing? Wow. It drives me nuts. Find another coach in the NFL. Bill Belichick, when he was head coach, didn't just stand there and do nothing and just stare off into the world and just stare off into the Netherlands of nothingness while his team's falling apart. Everybody's doing something except for one. Even Deion in college. Deion stands there and does it. But Deion, during times out, goes out and talks to his players and everybody. Jonathan Gannon during timeouts.
You know what, Dale? You know what's really sad? It's sad that when I see offensive line play, I think of you. Now when I see these sideline coaches, that's what I bring to the show. I look at the stuff nobody else does out there.
Man.
It's infuriating. But at the same time, and I'm walking to the line of Jonathan Gannon needs to go because of that side of it. I don't think he knows how to fix it. It is clear as day. They don't have experienced coaches on this team, including Jonathan Gannon, by the way. And that's what's hurting them. I pulled it up here just so you could see it because I already knew the answer to this. The Cardinals don't put how many years experience their coaching staff has. Every other team does, by the way. There's a reason for that because it's hard to put 1 year, half a year,
rookie,
2 years next to a coaching staff, right? But where's your senior advisors to help out this team?
Oh, boy.
Every team has senior advisors, Dale, don't they? Every team hires senior advisors. You got coaches that all they do is show up on a Tuesday, look at film, and they advise the team on what game plan they should do, and then they go disappear for a week. Cardinals don't have that. Where's the help for this coaching staff out there? Seattle, for instance, you brought them up. Their offensive line coach, 33 years in the business, John Benton. Cardinals. Some guy nobody's heard of because the other guy left and went to Dallas, right? from that perspective.
well,
Here's your coaching staff for the Niners really quick. You said Robert Salah, Kyle Shanahan, right? Clay Kubiak, offensive coordinator, named guys that have experience in this league, and you've heard of them. We have Drew Penzing and Rallis and Jonathan Gannon. Jonathan Gannon, nobody wanted him, and the Cardinals went and tampered to get, this is the coach we need. He's the next big coach out there. Well, why does nobody else want him, them guys?
Isn't that something, Coop?
Well,
They lost the draft pick.
The bad teams hire the wrong coaches, is my point.
I was going to point out something to his point in that the Cardinals' last 3 head coaches that they've hired, they were all first-time coaches in NFL.
Right.
Gannon, Steve Wilks.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And
there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
If you do the due diligence and get the right guy.
Right. But the last time they went and hired an experienced guy, one with these 30-plus years, some guy named Bruce Arians.
Yeah, and nobody wanted him.
And they were very successful.
And they got lucky. It's kind of like I look at it like the Kurt Warner situation. The Cardinals lucked into that. The Cardinals kind of lucked into the Carson Palmer good years as well with Bruce Arians, right?
I think
they lucked into Bruce Arians.
I think you got to give Arians credit for that. Because
I agree.
But
it started with hiring the right head coach,
right,
and making it happen,
right.
But they don't hire. They wait till the last sec. Even Bruce Arians was the last coach. They were like, anybody want this job? Anyone want this job? No? Okay, Bruce Arians, come on in here. Let's see how it works out with you right now. Well, they went out and hired Cliff Kingsbury with no coaching experience except for he was so bad at Texas Tech that USC was like, come be an offensive coordinator here. And he's like, okay.
Yeah,
then the Cardinals were like, you ever want to coach in the NFL?
I mean,
come on, kiddo.
I hear what you're saying, but I'll say this. At least Wilks and Gannon had previous NFL coaching experience. Cliff Kingsbury had 0.
Yes.
So I'll just, to your point, and it's
but
one
nobody was clamoring on Jonathan Gannon being the next head coach and the next good head coach in the league. You know who was? Seattle's head coach was highly regarded. Everybody wanted him. The Bears head coach right now, highly regarded. The Jets do what the Cardinals do. They hired the wrong guy. They went and got Aaron Glenn because he used to play here. And that defense in Houston. The Bears went and hired the wrong coaches all the time. Till this cycle, it looks like. But they always went and got Andy Reid's offensive coordinator. Andy Reid doesn't run that offense. I mean, Andy Reid runs that offense, not the offensive coordinator. The Bears kept trying to hire Andy Reid's people there. Bad teams always hire the wrong guys. They wait till the last minute, and they don't go get the guy. They're very reactionary instead of saying, that's our guy, let's go get him. And they didn't even do that with Jonathan Gannon. And then when they did it, they went and tampered with them. And everybody else was like, even the Eagles were like, you want him? We would have given him to you.
Yeah,
we don't want him here.
I'm of a proponent too. Now I hear what you're saying, and I'm not gonna disagree with anything that you just said. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have nightmares when I watch Cardinals cutaways.
Thank God I'm going to be at the game on Sunday, so I can't watch it.
But I'll say this: that I'm a proponent in that good players can overcome bad coaching. But the problem is, as we just talked about earlier in this show, the Cardinals, Monty Austinford, of his 23 draft picks since he's been here, 0 are Pro Bowlers. So that's the problem.
Can players overcome bad coaching? You had Dave Campo as a head coach at one time there, Dale.
Yeah, but we also weren't that good at that point.
I just like digging on Dave Campo. He's totally the nicest guy on the planet, Bruce, and I just keep digging.
To a certain degree, you can. But do you realize we looked at this yesterday? Since the Cardinals moved to Arizona, I'm not going back to Don Coryell and all that. How many Arizona Cardinals head coaches do you think have a winning record?
How many had a winning record?
Yeah. Well, they were with the Arizona Cardinals. Not previously in their stops.
No, just with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
Well, here's the sad reality, is that this is year 38 of the Cardinals in Arizona. 19 of those seasons, they've had 10 or more losses. Yeah. And we're looking at this
another
season
one.
being
another one coming.
So, wow, that's a good question. I'd probably say Bruce Arians is the only one.
Oh, so you got the only? Yeah, I thought there was 2. There's only one.
I don't know that. I'm just guessing.
No,
he's the only one. Okay. Only once since 1988.
I went back to Gene Stallings and was like, he had to have a good record. I even said Vince Tobin had to have a winning record with his little playoff run. But they don't even have it.
I was here Gene Stallings' first year. The Cardinals, I still remember it. Neil Lomax was their starting quarterback. Earl Farrell and Stump Mitchell were the running backs.
Yeah.
Their wide receivers were Roy Gein and J.T. Smith, and they had Jay Novacek as their tight end.
Yeah, that guy turned out to be nothing, huh, Dale?
Yeah, and so they were off to a 7-4 start.
Yeah.
They were tied with the Eagles and the Giants for first place. It was a 3-way tie in the NFC East. Yeah, they were in the East then.
Yep.
And they were 7-4. Lomax had a hip issue, and he really never really honestly played again. I know he tried to come back and play, but he was not Neil Lomax. And so Cliff Stout stepped in, and from that point on, it's been downhill. Yeah. I kid you not. It wasn't until 1998 that the Cardinals had their first winning season from 88 to 98, and I was there in 98. They're playing, yes, they were called the San Diego Chargers at the time. Chris Jackie split the uprights. Cardinals win 16-13. I've never seen this happen in an NFL game. Granted, they were in a college stadium, but the fans stormed the field.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
And it was one of the greatest sports feelings I've ever had. I remember sitting with Tommy Bennett, a Cardinals defensive lineman. There was a fence that lined the
Yes.
field. He just said, "Coop, let's sit back and just watch." So we just watched. Fans on the cross on the goalpost trying to tear it down. People pulling up grass and just running into you. And it was an unbelievable feeling. Seeing they took the goalpost down Mill Avenue. I've never seen anything like this. It was a true goosebump moment for me. Yeah. But I'm telling you. Those moments have been very few and far between. I mean, it's
only other ones that stick in my Aeneas Williams 100 and whatever it was 6-yard touchdown return against Washington, I think it was, or whoever they were playing.
Well, that was when they needed the new stadium.
They needed the new stadium, right? and he got intercepted that, ran down the sideline. The other one is when Steve Young, Monday Night Football, takes a big hit out of bounds and doesn't ever play again after that with that concussion. Those are the big plays. Filming Jerry Maguire.
I was there for
that was
too.
memorable as well. And those are your moments, folks, right there. And then the Cowboys winning Super Bowl 30 probably is another one. But that's what I mean. It starts at the top and goes to the bottom. Hey, you guys want to hear what JG says to the fans?
Okay.
Now, JG to the fans yesterday. This is what he says. This is what he says he wants the fans to do. Oh, I guess he doesn't have that one there. Basically, he says, stick with us.
Well, let me tell you something. The thing that I find embarrassing and it's sad that from the beginning, I mean, when the Cardinals first came here, I mean, they had these premium seat tickets. I mean, fans were suing because they couldn't get tickets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And once that losing, tradition started, fans started selling their tickets. I mean, I was embarrassed, be it Sun Devil Stadium, Monday Night Football, Cardinals playing the Cowboys, and I'm in the press box. I'm looking out. There's the stadium is 80-90% blue, Cowboy blue.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. What did we see Sunday? This past Sunday, Cardinals 49ers game. Yeah. Granted, the 49ers have colors similar to the Cardinals. When you look out there, it looks like a lot of red.
Pantone red, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's just embarrassing. I mean, look, when you have to win here to be able to have that bandwagon effect where fans won't sell, they'll stay with you. And look no further than the Cardinals Super Bowl seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, and area seasons.
There was games, though, where you were overwhelmed by the other, even in the Super Bowl year. They weren't spectacular.
Really? No,
they
I
were
was at those games.
9-7 that year going to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I sat 13 rows from the field. I had opposing fans sitting around. It's one reason I moved to the club level.
I get
because I was tired of the fans causing crap.
I get what you're saying. See, at that point, no one really felt the Cardinals were good.
The next year, after the Super Bowl win, then it was, we have a true home field advantage.
Right. Protect the nest.
It was that next year. Yeah. Maybe the year, and then it slowly dwindled and slowly dwindled after that.
But let me tell you, even in when the Cardinals beat Dale Hellestray's Dallas Cowboys in '98, I mean, there was a scene unlike any that you would ever see. I'm getting calls from my station saying, "Coop, what time are the Cardinals landing?" He says they've overtaken, the fans have overtaken Sky Harbor. So every TV station sent their live units out there, and they broadcast live. It was such a commotion that Michael Bidwill and his team and Kurt Warner and Fitz, those guys, they had to do an impromptu press conference on the tarmac at Sky Harbor. Right. It's unlike anything you've ever seen.
And I remember Plummer was like, "We can do it."
Yeah. And so I didn't see that because I'm still back in Dallas. But I saw the footage when I got back home. And so when the Cardinals were making that Super Bowl run, I mean, dude, it was incredible. I mean, fans just it didn't matter what the Cardinals led the newscast. They were the headlines on everything. It was incredible.
I've just noticed here as well. Like, did you know? Like, and I'm not bashing them. People are gonna tag them and tell them I'm bashing them. But 98.7 didn't even cover ASU last year until halfway through the season when they started winning. You know, even the media here doesn't cover. Now, Cardinals are different because they're a professional franchise for the media side of stuff. But people lose interest when you go to lose, and you look terrible losing.
Yeah.
People here will put up with if you lose a lot of games, but you're competitive. They won't put up with what we've seen the last 2 weeks. And that's where you get coaching changes is when that stuff happens.
Here's the thing about all that stuff, reliving the history and all that.
It's been scant history. Scant.
It's mostly been bad history.
We named five. My other favorite memory was the defensive end that said Phoenix is the armpit of the NFL, and then they signed him.
Was that Simeon Rice?
Simeon Rice, and he goes, "I'm the deodorant." That's my other favorite part as well.
So when we came out here, we always had that home field advantage because it wasn't just 1 year; it was every year that we played.
Yeah.
Except for the Super Bowl. I remember walking out with Troy pregame and looking around going, there's Steelers fans all over the place. But when it gets so bad for me is when I'm watching the Cardinals offense having to use silent count at home. Yeah. Silent count, and when you see the right guard standing up, looking back at the quarterback, turning around, putting his arm out, center looking down, looking up, snap. I'm like, you're at home.
Yeah.
There's no other NFL team that has to do that.
Dale, it's sad. It really is, and it's embarrassing.
They're not alone though. It happens a lot in the NFL.
No, they're not using silent count at home.
Well, the Chargers, they have. I've been
the bad teams. It happens a lot. I mean, Seattle's even dealing with that. There's a big debate now.
Seattle's dealing.
They're winning this year, so it's not as bad. But last year they were like they were going to enact rules on who you could sell your tickets to and could you sell your tickets and stuff like that because opposing fans were starting to infiltrate. But this year they're winning a lot more. Yeah. Probably gone away. But that's just what happens now. Ticket prices have gotten so expensive. If you can cash in as a season ticket holder and make your money back on one game on a team, especially when you're going to give people wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it if I knew the team would be competitive going into Sunday. And instead I was like, I have no interest with watching the ASU game on Saturday. I went to high school game. I went to a flag football game on Thursday. I was like, I'm footballed out. Yeah. And I have no interest in watching a team go get blown out.
This is a bandwagon market. If you win, I mean, there's really no better place to be. I mean, honestly, I really believe that. But if you are mediocre to losing, hey, it's Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Yeah, and now it's just even in bad losing years, it's the blowouts that nobody wants to spend the time dealing with, and that was the Sun Devil problem. You know, I remember Brett Favre coming in here and playing. I'm all excited to see Brett Favre, and they end up winning 35-3 or whatever. And it was like that was a waste of time. Even though I got to see Brett Favre.
You want to go from bad news to bad news?
Okay.
I know we're going to change subject.
Did they just extend Jonathan Gannon?
They a new 5-year contract extension for both coordinators and Jonathan Gannon. This is breaking. Arizona State star quarterback Sam Levitt's return to the program in 2026 is doubtful. Two of these guys, I don't know who they are, report Levitt's camp is actively shopping the talented passer at a high level to other universities.
Not surprised.
Well, I always kind of thought that Levitt, just based on what I saw this year, where he was sharing his NIL money with teammates and stuff, I thought that he was one of those guys that didn't really look at the dollars. That did, and not that he didn't want any, but it wasn't a big motivating factor to him, just based on what I saw this year. So that's surprising to hear.
For follow-up to that, Levitt's camp, Sam Levitt's brother, denies the report on his IG story. And Sam Levitt's camp has also come out and said that is 1,000% false as well. So, what is it? Switflong and Pete Nakos are the guys reporting that.
Well, let me put it to you like this: Sam Levitt needs to come back to college. He's not NFL ready.
No. If he goes to the draft, he's going to be 7th or.
I'll say this though. I mean, a team like Georgia would pay a lot of money to have Sam Levitt go there.
Real quick,
Alabama.
I know we're going to break or whatever, but the fact that you got to see Purdy on Sunday. You saw this kid in high school, right?
I did.
Did you ever think he'd be a Sunday player?
I did not. Matter of fact, I had conversations with his dad. Yeah. He was disappointed because no one was recruiting his son at the time.
Right.
But then Iowa State came in late, and so I remember talking with his dad and Dad Sean, and he says, I talked about what about ASU? He says ASU's not even looking at my kid. Oh. Don't even want him. And so.
And who was the coach then? That was before. That had to been. That had to be before Herm Edwards. So Todd Graham. Yeah.
I guess it would have been.
It had to have been because it was before Herm Edwards.
Yeah, it was definitely.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. It's just Todd Graham put together a solid program. Well, I mean, in the defense too. I mean, I've seen a lot of people talk about that, and they were like, even Iowa State, they kind of thought was out of his level. They thought he might have to start lower.
One of the things that helped him was that. Because I remember Sean telling me, and Sean Purdy's Brock's dad, is that Alabama had reached out to Brock, and Brock was going on a visit to Alabama. And I think Alabama had a couple late decommits, and so they reached out. And I think that helped get Brock's name circulating.
Get it out there,
a little bit. But yeah,
Alabama looks, your name gets out there. It is amazing how people and knowing what we know now, it's like how can you be so stupid?
Yeah. Well, look. Look, Brock Purdy dropped all the way to the 7th round, the last pick, Mr. Irrelevant in that draft, and so I didn't really raise an eyebrow. It didn't raise an eyebrow to me. But man, watching him perform with the 49ers, and I think he went to the perfect organization.
Yes.
Because organizations do matter where you wind up at.
I agree 100%. About that. Anywhere else, he wouldn't have this success.
And you're not going to believe this, but I believe it's Sam Darnold said that he learned more from Brock Purdy in the 1 year that he was with 49ers than he did anywhere. And I said it was Brock Purdy's attention to detail, his preparation and he said, and that's what Sam said. I'm like, wow.
Kyle Shanahan's dad, Mike Shanahan, said went to one of the first practices after they drafted, and that was when the guy they had traded up for, Trey Lance, was going to be the starter, and Kyle Shanahan's dad said that's going to be your future starter of your team right there.
Talking about Brock?
Brock, yeah. But he saw it in like the first couple practices that they had after they drafted him. And it's just like, what is that? So it is amazing how that happens. Let's take a break here, come back, get into the ASU side of things since Dale's giving us bad news there. And then, of course, a little bit of Suns as well. Come on back, folks. Main event with the great Bruce Cooper. We're back here, having some fun here as well. You see your boy Tate Reynolds got hurt again. They missed the playoff. The guy made the playoffs and then lost last week, but he got hurt again in that one game. So goes off to Clemson now. You gonna watch him there? Baseball.
Yeah, look, I'm a huge Tate Reynolds fan. I mean, I watched him last year, and I said, man, I was right away saying ASU has to go after this kid.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, just the ultimate dual threat quarterback. I didn't know he was also very prolific as a baseball player at the
I guess
time.
he's better. I guess he's better at it. Yeah.
I
That's what
voted.
heard.
I voted for him as the Cardinals Offensive Player of the Year a year ago, and I thought he was that fantastic. And so little did I know that his season would be derailed by injuries pretty much all
it's a
year.
quad. I don't know if it was officially said, but it was a thigh or a quad issue. Or something
So he
about that.
never did he ever play one full game collectively?
No, not at all. The game he came back on, he only threw the ball, I want to say, like 9 times, had at least, I think, 1 interception, maybe 2. Got injured again, but then they got injured in that first game up in Las Vegas
Right.
when they played up there in Las Vegas. So, yeah, kind of a wasted senior season,
He did,
if you want to say that.
And he's not going to stick around to play baseball. He's going to head off to Clemson. You say?
Well, I don't know that he's specific. I'm assuming he is, but everybody has told me that see you later. Graduating early and not playing baseball there.
A lot of these high school kids are doing that now to get an early start.
Maybe you know the answer to this. I have not looked it up yet. If he goes to Clemson now, finishes this semester, graduates, and goes to Clemson, middle of the baseball, can he play?
Yes, he can. He's a student. Absolutely, he can.
So if you enroll in January, you can play in the middle of the
he's
season.
eligible to play.
Really?
Look, he's eligible to. Yeah, they're eligible to practice with the team.
I know
spring ball.
I
but that's
assumed he
because
was-
they don't have games.
But that's
he can-
football.
he
But
can.
I'm talking about baseball.
Yeah, absolutely, he can.
He
play
can walk
baseball.
in and
Absolutely.
get some action.
Absolutely.
But you're using a year of eligibility.
Yes, he will be.
And he
Yes, he
hasn't
will.
been with them all fall. And
That's what, and that's the thing. It's the SEC. It's Clemson in the SEC, who's a good team. So I doubt he's going to walk in. They're like, "Hey, we need you to play."
First of all,
but
Clemson's in the ACC, but
I'm sorry, ACC,
but
not
first
SEC.
of all, SEC is not the best baseball conference anyway.
ACC.
Yeah, neither one of them are best baseball conference.
Who's the best baseball conference?
Well, it used to be the Pac-12,
Yes.
but that's disbanded now. So I think right now it's wide open. I don't think there's a dominant one. And I know people like to try to argue with me about this, but when you looked at USC with 11 national championships, ASU had 5, Stanford had 3, U of A had 3.
when Arizona wins a national championship, it tells you what's happening.
yeah, but Coop, that was back when you had a big
Dale-
you had a hair and all that. Hey, since you started losing your hair, the Pac-12 wasn't all that back in
well, I'll grant you that. I'll grant you that when the calendar turned to the 2000,
Yeah.
the things kind of changed. But look, the SEC had a long way to go.
Yeah, they did.
Just like right now, Oklahoma in women's softball,
Yeah.
they're the dominant program. But if you look at it was the women's Pac-12. I think UCLA had 11, U of A had 8. I mean, it's not even close.
The only thing about the SEC in baseball, like football, they're very, very top heavy. They're top level teams. The LSU's, Arkansas in baseball, they're really good. Then you get down to mediocre to not as good on the bottom side of things.
Skip Bertman turned that LSU baseball program around. I think they now have 6 national titles. So
Yeah.
I think they have now.
Well, I mean, their facilities are better.
Sure.
I don't remember who it was, but I saw a player that went up to Major League Baseball and played didn't do minor league at all. Like literally went straight, and he was like the facilities. And I don't remember what school it was, but it was an SEC. My facilities in my school were better than what my facilities are here, and I think it was with the Cubs or something. And he was like, my facilities, it was better, it was cleaner, it was newer in college than it is up here in the pros. And I was like, what?
Well, right now, I guarantee you can stick a pin in 3 to 4 SEC teams that will be in Omaha in the Baseball World Series.
Well, look. The Pac-12 is disbanded, so now you have the USC's, the UCLA's, the Washingtons, and and even Stanford's now over in the ACC. Those schools all were winning perennially, just like Arizona State and University of Arizona perennially. Now, granted, ASU, once they lost Pat Murphy, I mean, the program is pretty much
and it'll be interesting to see how the new baseball rules with scholarship changed the baseball program this year.
Yeah.
Because in football, we saw some of those SEC powerhouses kind of took a step back when the rules kind of regulated for NIL and stuff to that effect. Now you have to pay these kids and scholarships and things like that. So those rules are going to change things as well. So it'll be interesting to see who adapts and who doesn't coming up, especially in college baseball coming up. And speaking of college football here, right, obviously ASU, big win over West Virginia. I'll say this about Jeff Sims. He's impressed me. I was not impressed with Jeff Sims at Nebraska at all. I'm not surprised they got rid of him there and everything. And he's lack of turnovers is partly the reason why ASU won that game, that in defense on Saturday. And I like what Jeff Sims is doing here. I don't know if it's maturity. I don't know if it's coaching staff. But he is not the player that I remember at Nebraska, and did not like him performing there at all. He's changed.
Yeah, look, Jeff Sims, I thought he was the college version of Justin Fields. Great athlete,
Yeah.
but not a great quarterback.
Yeah, couldn't throw the football.
couldn't throw
to
the
save his
football.
life, yeah.
But I'll tell you what, he surprised me in West Virginia game. He threw the ball very well, and I mean, what, three touchdown passes? Now, there were a few possession down passes that he threw behind the receiver that I think if it were Jordan Tyson, he makes that catch.
Hamilton dropped a couple balls.
Yeah,
that he should have caught.
they're not helping
Yeah.
him at all.
But they were throws that were a little bit off. and they
Right.
had to adjust to it,
But
he still should have caught it.
but he's been wildly inaccurate.
Yes.
And that's how I would define him. That's how I've seen him. But even the game that he rushed for 200 plus yards,
Yeah.
I thought he hit on some throws that I don't normally see him do. So yeah, I am pleasantly surprised because I thought ASU season was over. They had no chance. But this kid's given a spark.
Yeah.
He's throwing the ball pretty well.
The other thing about the Sam Levitt thing, I was thinking about this during the break. If Sam Levitt does leave, you have this true freshman from New Mexico that's now been cleared. He's the backup quarterback now.
Dyer.
And if Jeff Sims falters, you're going to see him come into a game. Because you can play, 4 games before you have to redshirt? So you don't have to burn his eligibility to get him in there. So if Sims does do it, but he's the quarterback of your future. So I don't necessarily
here's
know.
the deal. Cameron Dyer, he was a dual threat quarterback back in, I believe it was New Mexico.
New Mexico, yeah.
And he was their big school player of the year. So he comes with a great deal of athleticism and can throw the ball, but they're also recruiting some kid named Jack Fetty.
Yeah.
Fetty, I've watched tape of this kid. I mean, I love everything that I see about him. Again, another dual threat quarterback, but again, both these quarterbacks we're talking about lacks the experience.
Yes.
And so,
But so did Levitt when he got here
well,
last year.
he had a year under his belt at Michigan State.
Oh,
Granted, it
didn't
was
play.
a cup of coffee. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But I hear what you're saying. But yeah, look.
But there's the difference between the ASU and the Cardinals. ASU coaches their players up to play well. Cardinals do not.
Yeah,
That's kind of my
well,
argument.
look. I don't know what the deal is with the Arizona Cardinals, and I'm going to buy in what you're saying. It's the lack of experienced coaches that they have. I mean, I think it starts with discipline and just trickles on down to preparation and to how you play and how you hold people accountable.
You don't know what you don't know what you don't know when you're a young coach.
Yeah,
and if you have nobody there to teach you, to guide
Yeah.
you, to talk to you about it, you don't know what you're doing wrong.
Well,
And I'm willing to bet you they're looking at it going, what are we doing wrong here? And everybody goes, oh, no, I think we're doing everything right.
Here's the other thing that people have not talked too much about, and I just wonder what that did to the locker room when the team fined Gannon $100,000.
Well, you'd be able to talk
DeMarco.
about that more than anything else.
Because as
yeah.
I sit there and look at it, and I've said this over and over and over again, if it was egregious, one of the two offensive linemen standing there, both considered leaders of the football team, would have said something. You'd have seen a reaction. You'd see a visceral reaction. I'm not going to throw the coach down, but you'd see something. And it almost seemed like they thought that was warranted.
And the two, Paris Johnson,
Yeah.
the leader on the offensive line, and Will Hernandez, are the
Yes.
two guys
And
you're talking. Will Hernandez ain't going to put up with that.
if he thought it was wrong.
But, I mean, the Cardinals fined him, though. Didn't they fine him? My impression is they fined him.
I thought the league.
No,
fined him.
the Cardinals
fined
did
him?
it.
Okay.
But I think it was to get ahead of the league and the NFLPA throwing a fit about it. Hey, guys, we handled this. We handled it.
I just wonder if that
That-
did
that,
anything
yeah.
to his standing in the locker room, because I know when Deion came to Dallas, once people started figuring out that Deion would not go to the head coach, he'd go to Jerry Jones. That kind of cuts the head coach's legs out from under him.
Yeah.
Just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see. But Kenny Dillingham, on the other hand, coaches these guys up. I mean, Sam Levitt had zero expectations last year when he came in here. I watched him in his first game, and I went, ASU has a prototypical good quarterback, and they haven't had one of those in a long time. After one game, and then then it wasn't perfect, and then they came on at the end of the year, type of a deal. So I have faith that these guys, Kenny Dillingham and his staff, are going to catch up.
Well,
Going to coach up Dreyer and
see
everybody.
what you're talking about is coaches that develop players.
Yes.
Outside of like maybe a Trey McBride, who came in like undervalued, if you will.
He was
Even-
terrible in his first year.
And you've seen his development, but you don't see enough of that. But
No, yeah.
I look at Arizona State. You talked about Sam Levitt. Jordan Tyson came in from Colorado.
Yeah, with no expectations.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was
Absolutely.
terrible at
And
Colorado.
now he's regarded as the number one receiver.
He's going to play this weekend against Colorado.
Oh, he is gonna play?
Well, they said he's coming back for it. We haven't announced it yet. But he wants to play this weekend, obviously an old team. But he wants to play the rest of the season. That's going to help his draft status, of course.
Well,
when he comes into play.
I don't know if it's going to help his draft status because right now his draft status looks pretty good. I'm looking
It's
at
not
some of
gonna
his
hurt it.
Yeah, look,
ain't gonna hurt it.
he's still the number one rated receiver
Yeah.
in the 26th draft. And so
It's not going to hurt it at all if he gets in there because they'll find him.
no. Yeah,
You know,
look.
if they're finding McLean, if they're finding Subio, if they're finding Hamilton at times, they'll find Tyson and throw him the ball.
Oh well, yeah.
Jeff Sims isn't stupid, right?
No.
That type of a thing. So Kenny Dillingham on if he's every week the press there at ASU asks Kenny Dillingham, are you satisfied on this stuff, etc. Kenny Dillingham on is if he's satisfied on his season here being 7-3.
Yeah, very. I don't consider ourselves fortunate because every game's hard to win, and we're winning. And a lot of people would like to win close games, right? And I don't think it's by luck. I'll say that. I think it's through the work and the relationships and the culture here, which is why we're winning these close games. But it's still very, very aggravating to not play a good football game. I don't know if we've played one good football game this year. And we're 7-3, and we've had all the injuries and all the things happen. I don't know if we've played one good game in all three phases. And that just bothers the crap out of me because that's my goal every week is to play a good game in all three phases. And I don't think we've done that yet. And I keep challenging the guys like in the staff. This is the week. We got to put it all together. Got to play one clean game. And I thought it was going to be last week. When we drove 65 yards and it was, a 12-point game, 22-9 or 22-10. Right, and it's a 12-point game. And we just drove 65 yards from the -1. We're about to convert, going a 99-yard drive to start the third quarter, score a touchdown. Okay, this is our game. And then it's like, no, fumble, score, all unravels, right? So I'm very frustrated by that, but I'm happy with where we're at, right? But you can be both. You can be happy with the result, but not happy with the process. And I would say that's where I am at.
Dude, this fascinates me. Showed you Jonathan Gannon. Just everything. Nothing needs to change. Nothing needs to change. You have a guy that's he's happy that they're 7-3 with all the issues they have, but then he's like, no, we haven't put a game together yet. And Jonathan Gannon's like, everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's amazing to see these differences between these two guys as coaches, and one's having success, although be it a down year, but having success, and another coach is struggling this year.
Yeah, I'll agree with Kenny. They have not played a good game yet this season. Yeah, complete game yet this season. And so, and to be 7-3, look, I honestly think that they should have won the Mississippi State game and the home game against Houston. I find those two inexcusable. It's almost like you gave those games away. And he talked about the close wins that they've had. Yeah, I think they're like 10-1 in close games.
It's
something
ridiculous.
Like that.
Yeah, they win most of them.
Yeah, and you just can't. I mean, if ASU's 9-1, and they're still in the conversation. I mean, very much in the race for the Big 12
Because they're in the
championship.
conversation now. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely a different conversation, and yet it would still be a true statement what he just said.
Yeah.
They've yet to play a complete game, and yet here they are 9-1.
Yeah.
Right.
They've yet to play a good game, a complete game. Here they are 7-3.
It just, you could see a coach openly talking about wanting to get better, needing to get better. We're in a good spot, but we need to get better. And you're just not getting that on the NFL side. I watch other NFL press conferences, and NFL coaches aren't as open as college coaches are. Let's be clear about that. But it's just there's not that constant insistence of, because Dale tells me all the time, we don't know what he's doing in the locker room. And I'll argue to my deathbed, like Torey Lovello, that's how they are in the locker room as well. They excuse stuff and they turn their eyes on this stuff. You don't go out to the media and be one way and then go into the locker room and be another. Like Bill Belichick was a curmudgeon in front of the media. He was a curmudgeon when he went into that locker room.
No,
as well.
see, but that's where he got it wrong because his players were telling him it wasn't like that in the locker room.
In the locker room, they said he was that way. Is when you got him outside the locker room or when the football practice wasn't happening was where he would loosen up and do some other stuff. But once it became football time, it was football time, and this is how we do it here. Kind of a situation. So really quick, first of all, ASU basketball, really quick. They had a comeback last night to win. They've played, I thought, decently, better than I expected against Gonzaga. Change your opinion on this ASU basketball team?
Well, their next NBA player is Masamba Ja.
Isn't he amazing to watch?
Yeah. And here's the deal. Now, they really have to do a good job in trying to keep this kid here. You don't want him transferring out to another school.
Like
now
everybody else does.
Now, he still needs to get stronger. He's like Wimbayana. He's not physically developed, but his skill set is top drawer.
I think his body type to me, and it worries me, is more like a bull, just tall and lengthy, no muscle to him.
He needs to get strong. But I'm telling you, his skill set is top drawer,
yeah,
and so I think he's ASU's next NBA player.
I like the point guard as well. I think the point guard is
Odom.
fantastic. Yeah, it's just he's doing an amazing thing. Arizona, beat UCLA over the weekend, which, I mean, Mike Cronin is just, God, that guy, I don't know how he still has a job.
Yeah.
But they beat UCLA. Of course, they have a couple easy games. They got UConn coming up this weekend, then a couple easy games. U of A's schedule is not easy, and they're going through and winning.
It is, and as much as their freshman class has been ballyhooed with Koa Pete and Burry, let me tell you, Bradley, he's the glue.
They were talking. I was reading the other day that they were, they're trying to figure out who they need a redshirt this year and all this other stuff on the team because of Bradley and the way that those guys are playing, those freshmen are playing.
Bradley is he's their glue. If he keeps playing like this, U of A has a chance to be a Final Four team.
Yeah, it's the combination of them all. Like I even saw LeBron's kid down there. They were like talking about maybe he needs to redshirt this year because of the other people underneath him that are playing so much better coming forward. And then the Suns, of course, no Grayson Allen tonight, obviously.
9 o'clock tip-off, Coop. How long you making it through?
I'll stay up and watch it. But, look, I'm still hurting from that blowing that 21-point lead with 8 minutes left to go in the game. They played so fantastically in that third quarter. That third quarter was fun to watch. I think they went on like a 21-22 run themselves. Yeah. And to see it flip in the fourth quarter.
What the Hawks score? 42, 47 points, something like that in the fourth quarter?
Outscored the Suns 47-27 in that fourth quarter.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. Yeah. Without the Hawks' best player.
Well, the Suns were without some of their top players. Well, so, look, I'll grant you that once they get healthy, Young and even Porzingis, Atlanta's going to be a threat to be in the.
They got to get healthy, and I don't know if in the NBA. I just don't trust that if you're injured this part of the year, I just don't trust you're going to get healthy later on. Wembanyama's out for 2 to 4 weeks right now.
I don't mind that because the Suns have him on the schedule.
Yeah. But I like what the Suns are doing. I asked Dale the other day, at what point are you going to get upset with Dylan Brooks pulling the nonsense? Like, he had the one where he was on the bench and got the technical when he shouldn't have. That affected that game a little bit. And then the other night got the technical, rightfully so in my opinion, because the ref stopping that play was an absolute ridiculous thing. But it was right in the middle of the Hawks' run, and then the Suns could never rebound from it at that point. So I asked Dale the other day, at what point, when he costs you and does this in the wrong points in the games, are you going to eventually get tired of it?
Well, look, for right now, I welcome it because you knew that was
That's his style.
his
That's what he
DNA
does.
when you acquired him, and you need what he has brought to this team. You need his toughness, you need his bravado, and you need his leadership. And I think he's hitting on all this, and the Suns may be getting the best version of Dillon Brooks. He scored back-to-back games of over 30 points.
Yeah,
You
Dillon
just don't-
Brooks, people.
Yeah. And so if we're getting the best version of this guy, can you imagine when the Suns get completely up? Because I'm telling you, you saw it for one game. Right. Jalen Green can get downhill. He can keep those doubles off of
Absolutely.
Booker. He's an important cog. I love everything I'm seeing about this Phoenix Suns team because I'm telling you, from Colin Gillespie, Dillon Brooks, Ryan Dunn, and Jordan Hawk. What's Jordan's last name? Goodwin. Yeah, I'm telling you, if you watch the way they press and get up on you, the way they play on the perimeter, their tenacity, it's just infectious. The big guys, they don't even get a chance to protect the rim because they're getting steals off the pressure on the perimeter, and they're going the other way.
And they're running the court, which is what I like.
This team is fun to watch, and if they continue to play defense like this, they're going to surprise some teams. They're going to be challenging to not just be a
play-in.
Thank you. I was looking for that word. Play-in. They're going to challenge to be a top 8.
See, we looked at that, and 6 is out of reach, I think, for him. Because
Yeah,
what was it,
yeah,
49 games we
I
have to
agree.
win to get in that 8 spot, roughly. But definitely, eight's doable. That's like mid-40s.
I wouldn't wish 8 on anyone, really, because 8 plays 1, and right now the way the Thunder.
Well, that's what you run into. Well, it doesn't matter if you go into the play-in game or 8. You're stuck with it.
Well, it does matter because, see, those play-in teams, they could wind up being an 8 seed, you know?
Well, that's what I'm getting at. So eventually, no matter where you are in that stretch, unless you get to that 7, you're playing that 8. You're playing the 1 seed.
Yeah.
But I think for this Suns team, if they did that, that would be just absolutely fanatic. Amazing to see them do that and stuff like that. But I'm impressed with Jordan Knott. I'm impressed with the way this team plays together. And you just got to keep in mind they're going to lose some games. Now the Hawks was one that got stolen from them. You don't want to see that happen. Like they got the Timberwolves, like you said, the Spurs coming up. That gets a little bit easier with Wemby being gone. But the way they played Wemby last time, I don't know. You might want Wemby out there. They were the ones to shut him down and everything.
I think they held him to 9 points, if memory serves.
Yeah.
Dale's going to start wearing Booker jerseys again here if he keeps playing the way he's playing.
No, he asked me about Dillon Brooks. I said, you know what? He's a more talented version of Draymond Green when the Warriors were winning championships, and then he kind of wears out as well. I could see him being really good here for about 3 years, maybe 4 years, and then his antics will catch up with him and us.
Yeah. Well, I think that happens to all those types of players, especially if you don't. But this is the interesting thing is it's good for me to see the Suns organization as a whole. I know they made a GM change and other things. They realize that you need toughness in the NBA to have a chance. Because even Jerry Colangelo's Suns, 7 seconds and left, those Suns, going back to the old days, they always lost to the more tough team in the playoffs. Most of the time, the Rockets, right? The Bulls eventually, stuff to that effect. And maybe the Suns have learned that lesson, that you need the finesse stuff, but you need the toughness also.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's ingrained in them now, that you need a Dillon Brooks or that toughness in order to grow and compete in this league for a championship.
And one of the surprising elements that I think a lot of the Suns fans got excited when the Suns were able to let's call it Kaman Malawach, the steal of the draft, because he was projected to go much higher.
Yeah.
And so the fact that what the Suns are doing right now, and they're not even relying on Malawach or even Fleming, their second-round pick, or Brea. Their rookie class is just pretty much sitting.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they moved him down to the
G League
here's
for a
what
game?
worries me about Malawach, because he played in the G League opening game on Friday night. He only had 9 points in the G League. That kind of worries me.
Well, how many shot attempts?
I have it right here. Let me find it. Fleming, by the way, had 23 points in there as well, and then Kobe Brea had 11 for him. He was 5 of 11 for Kobe Brea in that game. Malawach was 2 for 5.
Well, see, okay.
But I know, but 26 minutes. My argument is always for G League, and Dale knows this in Summer League. If you're really good, or if you're supposed to be a really good player, you better dominate when you go down to the G League and then to the Summer League because you're stepping down quality of opponents.
Well-
and then when you get up to obviously you'll be what you are and stuff like that. That was his first, big playing time and stuff like that. So I don't know. I didn't watch the game. It was on tape delay only and all that. I was reading about
Look,
it.
he's only 19 years old. His upside and potential is off the charts.
I think they're afraid of hurting his confidence, which does worry me a little bit.
I don't know if look. He still has some development to
absolutely.
go, and so he can develop and learn in practice daily. And so again, I'm just thrilled to see that what the Suns did. I mean, even some of those transactions that they made that didn't even register on a headline, like Isaiah Livers.
Yes.
I'm like, who's that? But I love the way Livers plays. He's another one of those energetic guys.
Yeah.
He's athletic and get him down the floor, and he's not shy and bashful shooting at three.
I mean, we got to give the Suns organization because I'm critical of the owner, man,
Sure.
on his basketball stuff. But you got to give him credit, whether he got out of the way or he got involved. It doesn't matter to me. But you turned to Kevin Durant, you turned to Bradley Beal into this.
Yeah.
You got to give him credit for this.
Absolutely. And look, Durant landed in the perfect spot because, see, when you're bringing him here to be that
They were already
alpha
expectation.
number
Yeah.
one dog, and he's not his game is not complete to be that.
Yeah.
He's not a defensive savant. He's not a great passer out of
He needs
double
the better
teams.
guys around him.
Yeah, if you
A
put,
la,
Golden State.
Golden State.
Yeah, and Houston has put that around him. He doesn't have to be a guy that goes rebounds, plays defense, lots of. He can just be that scorer.
Yeah.
And he's an elite
Especially at the
scorer.
end of the game
He's an
scorer.
and I don't know if you noticed that he did that last night in the Rockets.
Yeah,
man.
they did.
He-
That's what the Rockets were missing last year,
Yeah,
where they had
absolutely.
nobody that could win the game for
Absolutely.
him.
And
That's what he's brought in to do.
and he's in the perfect spot. And so that's why
that was a nice shot last night he had,
yeah,
too.
Yeah, that's why the Rockets are a definite threat to win the West and be in the NBA Finals. Is because I think they have a complete team.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to see there. So we'll keep it rolling with the Suns as well. But as always, thank you. On Tuesdays, book review. We'll do that after the show. We'll record book review time with Coop. Of course, for Dale, for me, for Bruce Cooper. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Coach, don't forget, we'll be on Thursday this week. The superstition has just rolled in with him. He wants to stay on Thursdays here while they keep winning. So that'll be Thursday. But me and Dale got you tomorrow as well. Come and join us. McCollum on Business coming up at noon today for McCollum on Business. We got some stuff happening around here, so we'll be a little bit late for that. But come and join me is there as well. Check us out on YouTube, free podcast system as well. And for those of you that watch us live, thank you very much. You can catch us on demand here at Robat TV as well. See y'all tomorrow, everybody.
Dale and I are taking you to see Sandra Bullock and the Proposal.